All right, good morning, tribe, and welcome to the Donut Shop at the beginning of the world. I am your host, Dr. Mark Merriweather Vorderbruggen, on this frosty, freezy, well, maybe not quite freezy, Monday morning here, broadcasted live from Ravenscar, my backyard. Isn't it cool? It looks like a mountain here. Okay, maybe I just need more coffee. Hey, good morning, Charles. How are you today? Hey, Surrender. Hadn't seen you. Been around for a while. Ooh, light frost in Dallas. Good morning, Sarah. Welcome to Monday. Monday. Lord help us all. I guess if we can survive Friday the 13th in 2020, we can survive a Monday. Hey, good morning, Jennifer. Hey, Mike. Good morning. Coffee. Though, I have a little suspicion that my mug didn't get rinsed out quite well enough, and there's a slight soapy flavor in there, but it has coffee in it, so whatever. X plus coffee is good. Hey, good morning, Amy. Whoa, Tina, frost and frozen gates. Oof, hope you got your gloves on this morning. Hey, Sherry. Hey, Charles. Whoop, Monta. No, I'm in my backyard, but that house looks like a mountain, and I thought that was really cool. Whoa, Alan, howdy, 32 degrees, Grayson County. Oh, okay, here, we got a good question. So, yes, Amy, is pine needle tea safe? So now we get to talk about foraging and lawyers. So pine needle tea, a long time ago, basically around World War II, there was this thing to see what can cattle eat. And so they were giving them all sorts of stuff. And one of the things they were giving them was ponderosa pine needles to see, can cattle eat this? And so they were doing that. And then after they were looking at the studies, they found that a slightly above average number of those cattle had miscarriages, the ones that were eating the ponderosa pine, if they were eating the ponderosa pine at a very specific period in the gestation of the calf. It wasn't just if the cow was pregnant. There was they had to be eating the ponderosa pine in a very specific section of their gestation of the pregnancy, and then it led to a miscarriage. They figured out the molecules are pretty much just in ponderosa pine, and they weren't able to recreate it with any other mammal. But because there are lawyers, have to say that if you are a pregnant woman, be careful drinking any pine at any time because but there's never actually been a situation where the pine needle tea has caused a miscarriage. But because it happened to cattle in one study, they decided that warning has to go out there. All right. Jesse Jones was sadly awesome. So Saturday, I was at the Jesse H. Jones Pioneer Festival. And because of the whole COVID thing, they made it, you had to pre-sign up and all this stuff. And so instead of having, 600 people, we maybe had 50. Maybe more than that. Maybe we'll say 70. So, it's whatever. Yeah, Michelle, that was something we always were careful about in Boy Scouts. You didn't want to you always want to make sure you really rinse the soap off your cook gear because diarrhea in the woods sucks. Whoa, S, the dog's water bowl has ice in it. We have reached winter. Yay, winter. Hey, good morning, Tracy. Good morning, Cajun Dagos. Hey, Wolf. I guess, Wolf, you're laughing at us down here with our 45-degree temperatures. Hey, Kimberly. Good morning, Cleo. Oh, Cleo. So I was surprised. A number of the reenactors at the Jesse H. Jones thing where I was at, so it was all like a historical reenactment, 1830s approximately. A lot of them didn't know about Pickett House and that cool museum village over there in Woodville, so I sent a bunch of them there. Hey, good morning, Deborah. Yeah, Tracy. Yeah, Pine Needle. It's lawyers. Good. Hey, Kimberlyn. Good to see you. Okay, so everyone's been wondering. You hadn't been around. We're wondering how the fur baby is. How's the fur baby, Kimberlyn? We've been on pins and needles like since you disappeared. Oh man, Catherine. Okay. Good morning from C4 and I. We were on the waiting list, didn't get in. And part of the problem is normally they have a bunch of high school students that volunteer to act as guides and runners and general, whatnots there at Jesse H. Jones. But they are currently not allowed to come and volunteer and do everything because of the whole COVID thing. Hey, good morning, Kathleen. Oh, darling, frost on the pumpkin. That sounds like a country song. Frost on the pumpkin, rabbit in the pot, da-da-da-da-da. I don't know. Yeah, Jonathan. Coffee along with beef and bean burritos will clean your insides out too. Yep. Well, if snow keeps coming, not sticking, then a beautiful morning. And it's in the 40s here now. So, wow. So, Wolf, we're like here at Houston, I checked, it was 45 degrees. And so it's like that there. So it's just one big coldness. Hey, Bernice. Hey, Bonnie. Good morning. Always good to see you. Hey, Danielle. Good morning, Tammy. The tribe gathers, the coffee is drunk, the donuts are eaten. Man, I want a donut so bad. Oh, it's a poem? Oh, the Frost on the Pumpkin? Is that like a... I guess Robert Frost would be too easy of a guess, but now I'm curious. Is that the name of the poem or is that a line from the poem? Because now I have to look up this poem. If I can find it, I'll read it. You know what? I'm going to do that right now. Monday morning poetry here at the donut shop. Frost on the pumpkin. Here we go. Let's see. All right, let's see. When the Frost is on the Pumpkin by James Whitcomb Riley. When the frost is on the pumpkin and the fodder's in the shock, you can hear the keok and gobble of the starting turkey cock, and the clackins of the guineas and the cluckin' of the hens, and the rooster's hally-hooler as he tiptoes on the fence. Oh, it's then the times a feller's a-feeling at his best, with the rising sun to greet him from a night of peaceful rest. As he leaves the house bareheaded and goes out to feed the stock, when the frost is on the pumpkin and the fodder's in the shock. How long is this poem? This poem looks kind of long. Oh, it's not that long. Okay. There's something kind of hearty like about the autumn sphere. When the heat of summer's over and the cooling is here, of course we miss the flowers and the blossoms in the sun, in the trees. Of course we miss the flowers and the blossoms in the trees, and the mumble and the humming bees and the buzzing of the bees. But the air's so appetizing, and the landscapes through the haze of a crisp and sunny morning of the early autumn days. It's a picture that no painter has the color in to mock. When the frost is on the pumpkin and the fodder's in the shock. The husky, rusty rustle of the tossels of the corn, and the rasping of the tangle leaves as golden as the morn. The stubble of the furies kind of lonesome like, but still a preaching sermons to us of the barns they growed to fill. The sawsacks in the medder and the reapers in the shed, the hosses in the stalls below, the clovers ahead. Oh, it sets my heart a-clicking like a ticking of a clock when the frost is on the pumpkin and the fodder's in the stock. Then your apples all are-gathered, and the ones a feller keeps is poured around the cellar floor in red and yeller heaps, and your cedar's making over, and your women folks is through with their mince and apple butter and their souse and sausage too. I don't know how to tell it, but if such a thing could be, as the angels wait in boardin' and they call around to me, I'd accommodate them all with the enduring flock, with the frost on the pumpkin and the fodder's in the shock. Hey, cool. Thank you for sharing that poem. That was cool. Sorry, okay, so, Yep. First rule of donut shop is you don't talk about donuts. I'm sorry. I would fail at that because I talk about donuts just slightly less than I talk about bacon grease. Well, yes, Tina, we saw that. Congratulations, Super Brain Tina. Woo! Just got notification of a 100 on the geology final. Woo! Yay, tribe. We got smart people in the tribe. Oh, cool. So, Danielle, the fifth grader is learning it in homeschool. Awesome. Oh, Dad's here. Good morning, Dad. Good morning, Mom. So, deer hunting season already over with? Or are you just not going out anymore? No deer this year. Freebird. Now, that's the one I could do. But, yeah, back to you, Dad. So no deer this year. Like I said, that sounds like you're done hunting for the year. How old is that poem? Well, let me see here. Does it say anywhere? Poetry Foundation. I don't know. I suppose I could find it somewhere, but okay, here we go. Bear Puppy is 12-year-old. He was recently diagnosed with congestive heart failure. Now his trachea is inflamed and caused collapse. Meds and comfort as it's not getting better, so he coughs all the time. He has good days and bad. Work is stressful and lupus acting up. Couldn't get up early enough last week. Love you guys. Okay, I'm sorry, Kimberly. That's a terrible thing. But we all love you back in our whirling bit of this time around the sun. Your birds and my birds are talking to each other. Yeah, Chirpy is pretty loud. You got mockingbirds there too? And good morning, April. And good morning, coffee. Sympathy to the fur baby. Bear. I can just imagine Bear. Poor little guy. I don't know if he's little or not, but yeah. An inflamed trachea. Okay. Dad says deer hunting season is over except for bow and black powder, which I don't do. Waterfowl season is still open. Man, deer hunting season goes fast in Minnesota. Well, when does it start, Dad? Because I think it starts before the Texas deer hunting season. But this is like the first year in how many decades that you didn't get a deer? Wow. Well, I'm still trying to figure out when I'm going to come up to Minnesota and I'll bring you deer sausage. Ooh, Jennifer, cool. Picked enough farkleberries to bake a pie. Recipes? I would say, find a huckleberry pie recipe online and just replace huckleberries with the farkleberries because they're in the same family and have more or less the same taste characteristics. Or I was going to say, or you could do a rhubarb pie and replace the rhubarb with huckleberry, but rhubarb is much tartar than farkleberry, so the sugar things may not be as good. So, sorry. Hey, Chirpy. You up there? I lost you. Anyway. Yep. Chirpy's hanging up right overhead, which makes me a little nervous. I guess I'm going to... Mockingbirds are the best birds. Crows can go collect their shiny little trinkets and do shiny little trinket stuff. Man, Chirpy is going to town on the Yopon holly berries here. You're going to get fat, Chirpy, which is probably fun. Let's see. Whoops. Yeah, I mean, I think like January 11th is when the rifle season ends. So we got to time it, but we got so many deer down here. The little deer, but yeah, but and once in January, like mid-January, is when the bucks start dropping their antlers, shedding their antlers, and so it becomes hard to tell the bucks and the does apart. Oh, that's right. Bear is a fluffy ball of Chihuahua and Palm, very much a Palm attitude and tenacious and stubborn. It sounds like a sweet dog. And 12 years old, you said? Oh man, Chad. Okay, the Bettany you thought was Salvia. Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, Shirley. Good morning in San Antonio. I love this weather. Yeah, this weather is perfect. Gorging yourselves on Mexican food weather. So, and which is, well, there's all sorts of amazing things to do in San Antonio, but one of my favorite things to do in San Antonio is gorge myself on the Mexican food there. Hey, Deanna. All right, Lily and I are waiting for our bus and hoping you all are doing great. We are doing pretty good. I mean, it's Monday, but it's a beautiful Monday. Oh, okay, so it goes to January 15th in Texas. All right, yeah, so I knew it was mid-11th, or mid-January, because part of the reason, so up in the Sam Houston National Forest, you're allowed to deer hunt, and during hunting season, then you're only allowed to camp at a few specific spots. You can't just go off trail and camp wherever because, they don't want you to get accidentally shot by a hunter. And so I'm always kind of bummed during this time of year I can't go camping because it's some of my favorite time of year to go camping. But I have to wait until January, mid-January. Hey, good morning, Renee. Good morning, Alicia. Whoop. There's more good news from Tina. Okay, Tina, cool thing is 100 on a geology lecture portion Saturday, but I still had to wait on the geology lab portion. I was more worried about the lab, but now my overall total is 100. I am extremely grateful for you and the tribe for moral support. Yay! Supporting Tina. I know you could do it. There is no doubt. I know how smart you are. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe I'm going to move, but he flew over to the oak tree now, so I think we're okay. Hey, Mark. If you're up early, you got to drink coffee. That's the rule. Okay, with the Pumpkin poem, the author Riley, 1853 to 1916, and pumpkin is spelled pumpkin in their time. Okay, so that leads to an interesting thing. Well, interesting if you like useless trivia. So I was reading this thing about the English language, and they said the English language, it's so dynamic and so changing, and so like the English of Chaucer is almost unreadable by modern people today. All the other languages in the world aren't like that, or most of them. I don't know about all, but they said like someone reading French today can read the French from the time of Chaucer. Someone German, Chinese, Japanese, Spanish, all that doesn't change as much, but English is just constantly changing. And so like 100 years ago is pumpkin rather than pumpkin. It's like, what the heck? Anyway, hey, good morning, Annette. Okay. Marion, my sis and I are backpacking on the trail this coming weekend. We plan to camp at designated hiker campsites. Yep, that's what you got to do. Nick. So usually, Nick, what I do is I go down to the Big Thicket, the Big Thicket National Preserve. There are places where there's hunting, and there are places that aren't. So along the Turkey Trail in the Big Thicket, it's a good time or a good place to camp this time of year. So, hey, maybe we need to set something up if I ever have time. Wow, my eyebrows are looking weird. Okay. But, yeah. Oh, cool. Lily wants you to know she's wearing a gas mask to school today. That is awesome. Is it the Polish or the Israeli or American or what type of gas mask? I'm assuming Lily is one of the cool kids. Yep, and wear your orange. All right. All weekend, grandkids and I would say Farkleberry at random times and burst into laughter. It's of all the different words associated with foraging, I got to tell you, Farkleberry, you can't beat Farkleberry. Yeah, you just can't. Let's see. Let's see. In the Harry Potter universe, pumpkin juice is apparently a bad thing, but everyone loves pumpkin spice flavor, so I don't get it. They're English. I don't know. I'm following behind here. Oh, okay. Here's a question. Good morning, Scott. Any good uses for Western soapberry berries? So I have not had a chance to play with them, and so all that I have information-wise is kind of secondhand from reading and so forth. And I can't remember exactly which part of it, but I want to say either the berries or the nuts will actually form a lather in soft water. If there's calcium or magnesium, hard water, they won't lather because the particular soap molecules will just clump up and form that soap scum. But in soft water, they will. Okay, and it seems like they're, let's see. Okay, sorry, I thought there was someone. Okay. All right, Tina, have a great time here in Houston. Okay. Are there any lookalikes of the desert hackberry that maybe be found in the southeast Dallas area along the trails at Great Trinity Park off 120 and Howdy Dairy? I'd be surprised by the desert hackberry up there. Oh, the sun's coming up. Whoa. I'm just thinking what might. So, I mean, there are some other hollies, like in particular, the possum haw, maybe, but the leaves are going to be very different. I need to rotate here some. That didn't help at all. Ooh, that might help. Okay. Desert hackberry, because it has the spines and so forth. Maybe a hawthorn of some sort would be the only other thing, because the desert hackberry has the spines and the fairly long spines, and usually here in Texas, the trees with the longer spines and the simple leaves, the non-compound leaves, are some sort of hawthorn. If you can get pictures, send me pictures, please. I love coffee so much. The girls and I play a dice game called Farkle. That sounds vaguely familiar. Okay, Lily got on the bus. She's wearing an American gas mask, and she's one of the coolest kids I have ever met. Still can't believe she's my kid. She's on the spectrum and has amazing ways of dealing with her many bullies who try and get her goat. That's awesome. That is so good to hear, Deanna. Hey, Shayla, good morning from Canyon Lake. What's the temperature over there? I'm assuming it's pretty cold like everywhere else here. It's 45 here. And there's other places reporting like frozen water dishes and so forth. Okay, I tasted fruit and it's sweet. So if it's desert hackberry, it was probably... Wow, okay. Sorry, the dog. The desert hackberry, yeah, the fruit is good. If it, I mean, they might have put it there as some sort of landscaping, low water requirement sort of plant. I'm also thinking it probably could be a hawthorn. Was the inside kind of gushy like a grape, or was it more firm like an apple? If it's kind of gushy like a grape, that's another sign that it could have been the desert hackberry. If it was more like an apple, that's really a good sign that it was a hawthorn of some sort. Marble size. Okay, that's a bit big for the desert hackberry. Oh man. Was the fruit growing in clusters, or were they individual? Because my concern is it was a China berry tree, which are poisonous, but they don't have thorns like the desert hackberry. I don't know, confusing. Simply only a tiny bit with our well water. Boiling water helped. I was hoping for a recipe. I don't really know any recipes for the soapberries. Hey, good morning, Katie. Ooh, Alexa says 42. All right, we're all cold. Ooh. But it's a nice cold. It's the cold that craves to be out in the woods and sitting around a campfire. Oh, okay. What would be a good Texas wood to carve a spoon? Persimmon. Persimmon is beautiful. I spent the weekend carving a hobo fishing stick out of persimmon. It really depends on what's around you. I would say instead of what's a good wood to carve it from, things like China berry would be a bad wood. The Chinese privet would be a bad wood. The Chinese privet kind of oozes waxy type stuff. That's not good. The Yopon holly is really pretty. Pine, not so good. Cedar, not so good, just because of the grain of the wood. The hackberry actually has a very nice fine grain, and it was used to carve the decorative ornamental trim in a number of churches. So if you have hackberry, that's a good one. Sweet gum is not good. Sweet gum's grain is all twisty and knotty, and it does not split or carve well. But yeah, I would go, if depending on what you have access to, hackberry, the persimmon, the Yopon holly would be my first three choices. The waxleaf myrtle is kind of nice, but it's kind of small. And then, of course, any of the oaks or hickories or maples or things like that are good. Let's see, Jonathan, I have a thorny tree. The bark is pale in color, and each thorn is surrounded by like a belly button. The thorn is short and dark in color. I wonder if that, okay, look up Devil's Walking Stick, Jonathan, on the Foraging Texas website, Devil's Walking Stick. Oh, okay, Canyon Lake. Now I know. Okay, that's why I heard about it. So Chris McMartin, the Air Force guy that I hang out with, yeah, he does scuba diving. Yeah, they have like planes and all sorts of stuff down in there to people poke around in Canyon Lake. Okay, gotcha. That's one of those things that was always on my list of things to do is like learn to scuba dive, and then I decided, no, I'll just teach people foraging. Yeah, so the crepe myrtle has some really neat wood, but for it to be big enough, you got to get one of the older, big pieces. Okay, Osage Orange, yes, if you're willing to sharpen your knife every fourth or fifth, carve, because the Osage Orange is so damn hard. I've been working with Osage Orange to make some knife handles, and it has been a beast. Yep, I think Nicole said if you could carve it. In that case, you might be better off with, I was going to say like some sort of grinding tool or something like that. But yeah, the Osage Orange, beautiful wood, but man, it lives up to its hard. It's really hard. April, got a handful of baby okra from the garden. Tastes like flowers. I love the okra raw. I wonder if I have any okra. I ate one a few days ago, but oh yeah, there's a little one there. Okay. Yep. Strope off, and you got to resharpen the blade over and over and over if you're working with Osage Orange. Oh man, Mark, I broke an axe handle on it once. I'm not surprised. So, like I said, I was making a knife handle out of it. And so it took me a while to cut the slabs and then epoxy them to the knife. And then I've been slowly grinding them down. On my drill press, I have some sanding drums. And normally they just go, rip through the wood. And this, it's like maybe a millimeter every 10 minutes. It's just like, and so now the floor of my garage is covered with Osage Orange sawdust. Oh, huh. Might the Osage carve easier if it was soaked in water? Maybe, but normally you don't want to do that because you want before you start doing really any wood carving, generally you want the wood to be dry to a point, because if you carve it when it's wet, it's going to swell and change. And there's the sun again. It's going to swell and change, and then when it dries again, it's all going to be weird, and it can crack and stuff like that. So, so I wouldn't soak it in water. I need to. Man, that sun is just a minute here. There we go. Much better. Much better. Whew, cold. All right. But as far as making it easier to carve, I don't know if it would or not. I don't think it really would, actually. Darlene, I eat a lot of raw okra. Good and good for you. Yeah, and also any of the slimy foods, don't forget, they will grab onto sugar and slow the transfer of sugar from your food, your stomach, and your intestines into your blood. Whoop, whoop. So it's a good way of helping control blood sugar. Speaking of, blood and everything in general, it is 7:50, time for the group take. Monday group take. All right, starting with the liver pill. Cleanse, support, detoxify, protect, Medicine Man Plant Co. Come here. There you go. The brain pill. Memory, focus, mental clarity, attention. I'm never going to stop smelling these bottles. The immune pill. Support, maintain, prepare, fight. It's poking me in the head. Yep. Cat-like reflexes. Oop, stay in there. Gotta keep that immune system up right now. And the new one, the libido pill. Chicka chicka boom boom. Virility, duration, stamina, power. Come on. There we go. That's something I didn't know, Darlene. Soaking bones in water is good for making bone tools. That's cool. Pickled okra. I never, because I do have okra. Sorry. Yeah, because I like the fresh okra just right off the bush. I rarely get enough to pickle, but yeah, pickled okra is awesome. Hmm. Indiana. Anyone else in the tribe own a sucata tortoise? I don't even know what a sucata tortoise is, but anyone out there? Anyone? Anyone? Nicole, closet whittler. Cool, cool. Oh, that makes sense. Osage Orange sawdust makes a wonderful natural dye. I got a lot of it. You could spritz with alcohol to help you along, but you want to be careful about splitting if it gets too saturated on you. Are we still talking Osage Orange there, Nicole? Spritz the Osage Orange with alcohol? Hmm. Balancing too small, and I'm going to harvest state. Ooh, okay. Yeah, Osage Orange. It goes through saw blades and everything really fast. Alan, tearing down an old chicken coop, I found a braid knife. Handle was good after cleaning the dirt off, but the blade not so good. I'm really curious as to what the handle was made out of. Oh, Jennifer had one years ago. His name was Torticus. I like that name. No, so it's the mucilage, the slimy part. So the frying may dry that out some. Here comes the sun, do 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 do. But once you start combining with the moisture in the stomach, it reactivates. Ooh, we smoke red jalapenos to make adobo sauce. Would it work to smoke native chili piquins? Yes, it does work to smoke them. What's great about the chili piquins, and I'm probably pronouncing them wrong, they actually have kind of a natural smoky flavor to them, which is really cool. But yeah, go ahead and smoke them. They're really, really good. Okay, we need to hear Mrs. Weathers' review of the libido pill. In a nutshell, it's this. Okay, and by that I mean it's like, again. All right. Okay, yeah. So rather than getting wet, you could spritz the Osage Orange with alcohol. A lot of covers do that with some luck. I prefer dry wood. Many people swear by using green wood and oven drying spoons when done. Give it a patina. That's interesting. Okay, so you think it probably bowed arc on the handle. Yeah, if it's kind of an orangish color. And if it was laying in dirt and the metal rotted away and the wood did not, and the wood handle, yeah, it's probably a good sign that it's bowed arc. Sandler. Okay, so that's the name of your new tortoise? Cool. So, yeah, Mrs. Weather is what we call a burrito sleeper. So she gets into the bed, she takes the covers and rolls around in it until she's completely wrapped up in all the covers. Therefore, nice and toasty warm and completely protected. And I'm freezing and lonely. But anyway, enough about my marriage. Ooh. Oh, I still have some. I was worried that I didn't. Okay. So this position, it looked cool at the beginning, but now I'm just getting blinded by the sun. Oh, well. Are there any guys out there that are burrito sleepers where they just roll themselves, wrap themselves up in all the covers? I don't know. I've actually considered getting that, the cool tortilla burrito blanket thing. But because she used to be a quilter until we ran out of people to give quilts, we got quilts all over the house. And so at this point, adding any other sort of blanket or blanket-like object would just be wasted money. Okay, you're a burrito sleeper. All right. Oh, this makes sense. So I used to sleep in a sleeping bag in my bed because the sleeping bag was super warm. So we do have a husband that does that. Okay. Bonnie, your husband does that? Drives me crazy. Yep. There we go. Yep, Nathan, one leg in, one leg out. Yep. You got to get just that right equilibrium. Totally there with you, man. Okay, okay, Nina. Yes, my husband and my dog. Okay, that's fine. I guess I've known some dogs that'll do that too. But yeah, burrito sleepers. At least, if both, members of the marriage or whoever, were burrito sleepers, then I could see some real, battles starting. Ooh, so that is one thing Mrs. Weather has been interested in, is one of those weighted blankets. She's been very curious about it, but they're, again, really expensive. So at least they were when they first came out. So maybe they've gone down in price. But I, on the other hand, I feel smothered if I have weight on me. So I'm not a big fan of like the weighted blankety type things. Yep. Temperature control. Nathan, does it matter which foot is out? I'm curious. For me, for some reason, the right leg. Just saying. Oh, wow, 7:59. But, yeah. Burrito sleepers of the world unite. Whatever it takes to protect myself from under the bed demons. Yep. Who knows what lurks under the bed? $44, but you say it's worth it? All right. Maybe this year for Christmas, maybe that's what she'll get. Okay. All right, tribe. It is 8 a.m. I'm kind of bummed. I was having fun. All right. I guess I will see you tomorrow. Oh, this week on Merriweather's World, return of Dr. Brandon Laurie, Professor Brandon Laurie, and we will be talking about the science books and nature books and general books that kind of helped us understand the universe that we liked as kids and everyone else. So it's not like super hard science-y type stuff. It's more books that anyone can use to better understand the universe. So check it out this Thursday, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Professor Laurie and I talking about the books we like. Otherwise, I will see you here tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., 7:18-ish, for the donut shop. Until then, everyone, have a great Monday. Cool. All right. And I am going to get out of the sun because I am just completely blind now. All right. Bye-bye.